What's up, it's Joshua. It's been a rough week, man, but whatever. I gotta get back on work. I'm not divulging my plans because you keep your next smooth secret. Like, I mean, whatever, dude. But here's the thing. I just want to make this video. I made it before. It needs repeating. I'm going to repeat this as many times. Have you read Ecclesiastes? Because I was outside and some guy was like preaching on the street corner. Sometimes I mess with him, usually I don't. But have you read Ecclesiastes? Or the Song of Solomon, or Solomon the Great? Have you read it? I have. Not the whole thing. Like, I mean, I'm gonna give you a little secret pro tip, right? I don't really have to do too much. God just goes, here, go look at this. What? Here, look at this. Okay. I mean, we've been doing it for so long. I'm just like, you know, but like it's really that easy. I mean, whatever. There's a lot different. I'm downplaying it. It's really hard. Yeah, I trade with save me. Anyway, so in Ecclesiastes, right, Solomon says, anybody who entertains a dead person or dead spirit, that's a demon. Solomon's words. It's in the Old Testament. You can go look it up. It's in Ecclesiastes 7:45, 40, whatever. I don't even know what it is, but it's in there. You can go look. Yeah, Google it. Google it. All right. Solomon says that. It's in the Old Testament, right? So Jesus Christ at the Transfiguration, right? And he goes up on Mount Hermon, which is Baal's Mountain, whatever. We won't get into those details. But so I know too much. I know a lot of stuff. So I know more than I really need to know. But anyway, so he goes up for the Transfiguration, right? Peter and James and John, they fall asleep, right? And they wake up, and there is Elijah, right? And Moses. Right? And Peter looks at him and he goes, do you want us to build a tent for Elijah and Moses? And Jesus goes, get behind me, Satan. Which is funny because he calls Peter Satan for wanting to build a covering, a tent. But what is Paul's job? Paul's a tent maker. So is Paul Satan? Anyway, like I said, I would know way too much. So anyway, so Elijah got taken up to heaven alive, right? Moses died in the desert. Moses is dead. Jesus hasn't died at this point for the resurrection to even happen. So how's Moses there? Because Moses is dead. So if Moses is there at the Transfiguration, Moses is a demon. It's not Moses, it's a demon. Those are Ecclesiastes words of Solomon. Anybody who entertains a dead person, that's a demon. Jesus Christ at the Transfiguration, it's right there. You can go read the Gospel. You can Google that too. Go Google it. I want somebody at the Vatican, have whatever the next Pope is, to go Google it, or David Jeremiah, or Jonathan Cahn, or all these Jesus people. Like, go Google it. It says, Elijah's here, Moses is there. Moses is dead. So if Moses is at the Transfiguration, Jesus is entertaining a demon. A demon is witnessing for... Why is there a demon there? I cannot control them. No, Moses is dead. Resurrection hasn't happened, so that's not an excuse. So Moses is a demon. So Jesus is hanging out with demons. Why is he hanging out with demons? Because the house divided against itself cannot stand. Because he's Satan, I guess. It's right there in the New Testament and the Old Testament. You can go look it up. Go Google it. Go Google it, and I'll tell you something else. The reading today at the USCCB, right? The Catholic Mass reading today. The Old Testament reading today is 1 Corinthians, Paul, right? And Paul, and here's pretty much all Paul's letters. Paul's letters are pretty much this. Remember when I was there with you, and then we were there together, and then I shared the mysteries that I shared with you, and then I told you about the mysteries, and I'm writing you to tell you, remember the mysteries? Those are all Paul's letters. That's all he ever says. What mysteries? Well, the mysteries that I told you that I shared with you. Well, remember them? Because I told you and I shared. What mysteries? How come Paul never writes them down? What are the mysteries? Well, the ones that I shared with you. Paul walked around for 40 years, everywhere, sharing all these mysteries. Nobody ever thought to write it down. He went to Rome and saw the emperor. Nobody was like at the emperor's court and said, wow, these are the mysteries? Let's write it down. 40 years, Paul walks around everywhere. He doesn't write any of the mysteries down. Nobody he talks to writes any of the mysteries down. Nobody knows what any of the mysteries are, but the mysteries. that I shared with you when I shared the mysteries that I shared. Those are pretty much all Paul's letters. And worshiping the Spirit and the mysteries. For 40 years, I've been walking around all over the place preaching the mysteries. Nobody thought to write any of it down. Nobody ever for 40 years. He went to Rome. He got an audience with the Emperor of Rome. How big of a deal that is? Like the Emperor was like, all right, come on in. And he went and he talked to him. The Emperor actually said, hey, nobody, come in here. And nobody wrote it down at the Emperor's court. Hey, this is the guy with the mysteries. Nobody's like, hey, somebody get a pen and write this stuff down. It's probably important. 40 years, Paul walks around here and here, sharing all these mysteries. You know the mysteries that I told you about, the mysteries, the mysteries, the mysteries, the mystery. And that mystery that I told you about, the mystery. Nobody ever, like the whole time for 40 years, nobody was like, hey, we should probably write this shit down. Paul doesn't even write it down. That's why it's a mystery, I guess. Anyway, so 1 Corinthians, right, Paul goes, talking about the mysteries that I shared with you, the mystery. That's how the beginning always starts. Mysteries of the mystery. When I was there, the mysteries that I shared with you, the mystery of the mystery of the mystery, the mystery. And then he goes, so I preached the mysteries to you that Jesus Christ died and appeared to Cephas, then the 12, and then 500. That's not in the Gospels. The order of appearance is Mary Magdalene, Mary, James, John, Cephas, and Nathaniel, then the rest of the 12, then the 500. How does Paul not know the order of the appearance of Jesus Christ? How does he get that wrong? Paul doesn't even know the appearance of Jesus Christ. It's in 1 Corinthians. It's right there. Go to the USCCB Catholic Mass reading today. 1 Corinthians. That's the reading today. Paul's like, Jesus appeared to Cephas, and then the 12, and then 500. That's not what the Gospels say. How does Paul not know what the Gospels say? I thought he had the mysteries of the mysteries. You guys should go research that.